Cancer, thank you for joining me. My name is Gregory Scott and this is your astrology forecast for September 2015. I'm going to give you a really in-depth rundown of what's coming up for you, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you to navigate this month in terms of the influences you'll be working with. Okay, so the month begins on the 1st of September with a lot of fire in this chart. Okay, fire is really to do with passion and being on your life purpose and excitement. And the way this feels for you is, I think you're going to feel quite flustered actually at the beginning of this month, and you're going to feel like you have so much to do and so much to get done that is kind of outside your comfort zone a little bit. So you're going to feel quite, you're going to feel demanded upon, or like there's a lot expected of you at the beginning of this month. Uranus trines Mars between the 29th of August and the 18th of September, and your Uranus sits in your 10th house of career, so that's going to be really busy for you. You're going to feel a lot of energy in that sector, and with Mars in your second house, it's not just, it's positive. Okay, so this energy isn't just that you're frazzled at work and that you're running around like a mad person not getting anything done. You are getting things done, and the actions that you take, and if you rise to the challenge of what people are expecting from you, you will actually be able to improve your standing in the business that you're in, or in the employment that you're in. But you're going to be able to make improvements in that through your actions. So really show up for work, really do the best you can, because people are looking at you, people are taking notice, and it'll have a positive outcome for you. Uranus also trines Venus all month, and Venus is the goddess of love and beauty, and she beautifies your financial sector. She gives you more money, more prestige, more acclaim, more success if you put the action in, and that's really the key. Between the 15th of August and the 14th of October, Neptune has been opposing Jupiter. And Neptune has been in your 9th house of travel and expansion, and Jupiter has been in your 3rd house of communication. You have learned a lot, and you will continue to learn a lot, spiritually, practically, but your horizons are being broadened, Cancer, and you're really understanding a lot more. So make sure to communicate in a practical way. If you have the ability to go on a trip, or to explore new things, or to expand your mind, or to learn new things, to sign up for a course, please do that, because Neptune and Jupiter are really big influences. They're outer planets. Neptune rules Pisces, which is spirituality, and in ancient astrology, Jupiter ruled Pisces. So both of them have a lot to do with spirituality and spiritual insight. So if you're someone who struggles to see the bigger picture, if you're someone who sometimes feels a little bit that life is mundane and why am I doing all of this, these 2 months are a really good time to discover your life purpose, what it is you're meant to do, through your own spiritual messages that you get. If you feel that you're blocked in that way, you can always get a reading. I mean, I love astrology for looking at what someone's purpose is in life, specifically based on their chart. It's a very helpful tool, but it's very likely that you'll get messages along that kind of theme anyway between the 15th of August and 14th of October. Mercury starts to square Pluto between the 3rd of September through until the 30th of September. And that's interesting because Pluto is in your 7th house of relationships, and Mercury is the communication planet. So your ability to communicate in a positive, genuine, honest, loving way is going to bring new relationships into your life, especially on the 3rd. So look out for that. It starts on the 3rd and it lasts until the end of the month. So it may be that someone new shows up in your life on the 3rd of September. But there will be new harmonious, positive relationships making an appearance. On the 4th of September, the moon squares Jupiter and your midheaven. And on this day, it's important for you to speak up, to speak your truth, especially in a social setting, because that will have a positive impact on your work. So if you have an idea, please share it. It'll go down well, and it'll have a positive impact on your life. The next day there's a T-square in your chart between Neptune and the Sun and Jupiter, and it peaks, it kind of apexes in your 12th house with the moon in Gemini, okay? And what this does, again, this is about learning new information and expanding your horizons, especially in terms of spirituality. So for you, Cancer, the beginning of September is a time of spiritual growth, spiritual expansion. I think you get a lot of answers. I think you find new channels, new ways to communicate, and I think the dialogue between you and the universe is much greater than it has been in the past. I think you notice an opening. There's a grand trine in water on the 7th of September, and also, again, this is between your 9th house, your 5th house, and your 1st house. So this spiritual awakening by the end of the first week of September has a knock-on effect to the way you feel about yourself and the way you feel about yourself in romantic relationships. So I really think that you have a greater understanding of who you are and what you have to offer, and I really think that restores your hope in terms of romance. And I think it also gives you greater compassion and understanding for other people and what they may be going through. But it makes you a much more relatable person. And again, this speaks to me in terms of the new relationships that are coming into your life aren't just coming in because they just happen to do that, but because you're now ready emotionally to give other people what they need and to receive what you need from them. So it's your vibration alters and changes a little bit, that you're more in touch with your feelings, and because you're more in touch with your feelings, other people are going to get in touch with your feelings in a positive way. So if you're single, it's a great week to meet someone new, to understand about yourself and to meet someone. If you're in a relationship, it's a good time to really open up and to become much more honest and real with the person you're in a relationship with. Right, there's another amazing thing that happens actually on the 7th, which is that Venus comes out of retrograde. Venus is the goddess of love, and she's been in retrograde since the 24th of July and comes out of retrograde today. So this is a blossoming of love, desire, and what you care about. And because it's in your 2nd house, it's actually a good time for you to now start new ventures, new businesses, new relationships, and to allow yourself to do that. And it's a good timing with this spiritual kind of awakening and vibrational change, because now you're free to be in a harmonious relationship. Great. On the 9th of September, the moon starts to trine Saturn, and that happens in your 2nd house and in your 5th house. And really what you're going to take ownership of are your own feelings. And I think you're going to scrutinize the feelings of other people and see if they're compatible with you. I think you're actually going to make good decisions in terms of your feelings in your relationship life. I think sometimes you can be a little bit permissive of other people. Like, for instance, if someone throws a temper tantrum, you'll be like, oh, it's because he had that disappointment or because his blood sugar is low. Just don't worry about it, you know. But I think you're going to not be as forgiving on the 9th of September, and if someone totally acts out of order, you're going to say, you could have made a better choice there, and I don't appreciate the way you're treating me. And I think that's important, because people respect those kind of boundaries. If they think they can walk all over you, a lot of people say, oh, I can walk all over her, I will. It just, you know, unfortunately sometimes that's how people react. But I think this is also going to be very helpful if you're meeting new people, and to say this is compatible with me and this really isn't, rather than being wishy-washy about it and saying, oh well, maybe there's another side to him or her. I think you'll say this doesn't work for me, and I think you'll be very clear, and that's great. It's good to be really clear on things like that sometimes. Your Ascendant begins to square your Venus, your Moon, and your Mars in your 2nd house on the 10th of September. And this is really an extension where you feel very much aligned with your own feelings, and you really see what works for you in practice and what doesn't. So these 2 days in September are very good days for you to make decisions about relationships and the relationships you permit to be in your life. You know, because relationships, we engage in those. It does take two to tango. So if there are relationships in your life that don't work, then the question could be, well, why is this still here? Why am I permitting this to exist? On the 12th, the Sun, the Moon, Jupiter and your midheaven, they all start to come together and conjunct each other in your third house communication in preparation for this new moon that happens on the 13th, in the next day. And this is a wonderful day for you to communicate your practical needs and desires and purpose very, very clearly. And it's also a good time to plan the way your work is going to be in future and what you would like to happen with it. And you can do that practically by writing a list or saying, where do I see myself in 5 years? But really getting clear on that. And then the next day when the new moon occurs in Virgo, that's about pouring new energy in and setting intentions. And these 2 days, the 12th and the 13th, are very, very good for you to actually write down in a tangible, practical way, or record if you're more comfortable with that, what you want in terms of the direction your life is going in work, but also in terms of your spiritual growth and expansion, and what do you want to achieve, and what do you want to figure out. It's not just a new moon though, it's also a partial solar eclipse, and it's on the north node, which is in Libra. And when an eclipse is on a north node, it pulls energy in. And the north node is in Libra, which is about harmony and relationships. So a harmonious feelings is going, why do I make that plural? A harmonious feeling, singular, is going to enter your kind of energetic field, and you're going to really make practical plans to have a more harmonious life in a practical way. So, you know, if you're living in a place where you have to commute 2 hours a day and you go to a job that you hate, then that's not harmonious day-to-day structure. You can then make plans and have a think of how you can alter that. Maybe cut the commute to half an hour and find a job that's more compatible with you or more suitable. That's the kind of thing this new moon is going to bring in. This is only going to be visible on a practical level in Southern Africa and in Antarctica. So if you're in America or in Europe, no luck. Don't bother kind of going outside and looking. You won't see it, okay? Mercury is in Libra all month, and that kind of complements this north node, and it also complements your ability to communicate very harmoniously and to build bridges. You know, sometimes communication is about being clear and being harsh and saying this works, being discerning sometimes. But this is about really building bridges and making good decisions so that your life can progress and that you can start to reach the next chapter. That energy is with you all month. On the 15th, Saturn starts to square Mars, and Saturn's in your 5th house of romance and relationship, and Mars is in the 2nd house in Leo. And your practical desires kind of come again up against the established way of doing things. I don't think you're going to have a lot of joy getting what it is you want from other people if you kind of scream and shout and say, I want this and I want that. You're going to have to try a more gently approach and be more considerate of other people and align yourself with the way things are done. Don't expect anything to be handed to you on a silver platter. Between the 15th of September to the 5th of October, you've got to treat people with respect and dignity, and you can't throw your toys out of the pram and say, screw you, I want it. Because people won't respond well to that. People will say, well, you want, I'm not giving. And it'll be I think there'll be quite a wall there. So if you want something, you've got to cooperate with people and be a little bit more considerate and literally cooperative with other people. It's not just about you. And you're going to feel that strongly because Mars is the soldier. It's my desires, not anyone else's, what I want. And usually that works, you know, when Mars is in Leo, it's like, okay, go do what you want and get what you want. But when it hits Saturn, it's like, no. Because Saturn is like, you shall not pass. You know, it's like, oh no, did I just quote some very geeky film? I knew this, I went to a convention recently. I went to film and Comic-Con, and I knew it was going to have an impact on me. So I think I just quoted Gandalf, okay. Okay, I forgive myself, it's fine. Right, let's move on. We're on the 15th of September here. Okay, on the 17th, we've got the moon sextiling your midheaven and your Jupiter. Midheaven and Jupiter, yes. Okay, and it also sextiles your Pluto in your 7th house, and it creates a trine. Okay, so on this day, on the 17th of September, it's a really wonderful day for you to now actually communicate with someone in a practical way, to build a new relationship and to possibly even feel something more for that person, for genuine loving feelings to develop between you and someone else. So this could be a colleague. If you're having lunch with a colleague, it could be like, oh, I never looked at you that way, you're actually very charming and attractive. Or it could be that you do go on a date and it leads to more, but there's a depth and there's an opening in terms of your feelings for someone else, and there's increased connection between you and another person. And that happens despite the Saturn, okay, and the Mars. So if you're bombarding someone with I want, you're not going to find that. So you've got to ease yourself into this opening rather than force it and make it happen. On the 18th, Saturn goes into Sagittarius, and it stays there until December 2017. So this is a big deal. I made a separate video on this. Saturn is what you scrutinize and what you put under the lens, the microscope. It's in your 6th house, so you're really questioning this month, Cancer. I almost called you Gemini there. Cancer, you're really questioning where your career is going, okay? And that was a theme earlier in the month, but it's going to be an ongoing theme. So for you to continue to question this is actually very positive, because you're going to get rid of the stuff that you don't like and that doesn't work for you. And you're going to bring in more of what does work for you and what you do like. So the Saturn is actually quite positive in your case. The moon squares Chiron on the 20th of September. And yes, it does that. I think you're going to have a refreshed sense of hope and energy in terms of your life and excuse me, the way it can be. So, you know, if you went to university and you did a PhD, but since then you've always just worked minimum wage jobs that, you know, anybody with no qualifications can do, and if you felt really disappointed about that and really kind of stuck in that sort of situation, you reevaluate that and you have hope that you can do better. And that kind of comes up in you on the 20th, and it's all of this energy of how do I see my future to be, that feeling of even giving up or resigning yourself to the way things are. I think you let go of that and you really pick up hope, and you pick up the belief that you can make your life better and you can make it the way you want it to be. There's also a grand trine in fire on this day, and that's what really motivates you. I can be a success, I can make my work the way I want it to be, and I can make my life the way I want it to look, and I can really love what I do and what my income is, and I can enjoy what I do. And this is quite unique to you, Cancer, this month. No one else has this. And I think I mentioned this last month, but on YouTube there's a guy who does ads all the time of, do you want the, you know, beach lifestyle or something, and he works one day like a month or something, and he lives on some island and he's rich, and he makes these ads. And I really think you tap into that and you dream that kind of dream. You know, I could create my own business, and I could set my own hours, and I could make my own money doing something that's unique to me and that I want to do. And that happens on the 20th. So look at your ideas that come up on this day. Have a think about what you're feeling and what your desires really are, because you can do that. I mean, that we all have that in our power. We don't need some guy on YouTube advertising that to us. If you have that desire, you can create it. You can make it happen. Okay, on the 22nd, there's a T-square for you. And that's between your Mercury and your Uranus and your Pluto and Moon in your 7th house of relationship. And really, I think communicating with someone through work or from your family members is going to, I think you'll meet someone through a friend of a friend or through a colleague or through a family member, and there'll be a new relationship that starts off on the 22nd of September. It could be just a friendship, it could be a romantic relationship, it could be a new work colleague coming in, but definitely someone new is entering your life on the 22nd. On the 24th, the moon quincunxes Jupiter, I should say, rather. And that's interesting because this is very karmic, and this is kind of the feel of God to it sometimes. And the person you met 2 days ago is going to be someone who's one of your teachers. You're going to learn something from this person. Make sure you keep an eye on it and you don't dismiss that relationship as just a new colleague. This is someone who can really offer you something in a practical way and who you can learn from. Mars moves into Virgo on the 25th. You become much more concise in the way you speak, and you become much more deliberate in the way you put your ideas across. Very, very helpful to you on the 25th. The full moon occurs on the 28th of the month, and this is a full moon in Aries, and this is a blossoming, okay? So again, I think you're going to feel that fire, you're going to feel that heat, that movement, that frantic energy in your working life, and you're going to feel like you're making a lot of progress. It's not just a full moon though, it's also a total lunar eclipse. So the harvest moon is eclipsed, and it's on the north node. No, I'm sorry, it's on the south node, okay? And the south node is about letting go of something. What you can do is you can let go of this frantic energy, and you can harvest the good in your life, in your work, by thinking about it clearly rather than just driving yourself crazy by taking more action. So it's about working smarter, not harder. And all of this month you've been doing a lot of preparation to see what is my day-to-day life, my routine going to look like. And that pays off for you now. And you're really going to be able to let go of some of the things that don't work for you. On a practical level, you can see this eclipse if you're in North America on the East Coast. You can see it if you're anywhere in South America, Western Europe, Central Europe, and also West Africa. Okay. So 30th of the month is a grand trine in Earth. So you finish the month with a real gift to communicate and to really revitalize some of your hopes and dreams. So Cancer, this month for you is all about picking up or drawing a line under what has happened, picking up your hopes and dreams again and say, I can be this person that I've always wanted to be, that I gave up on. You know, like for instance, you know, the archetypal story of, you know, the young woman who goes to LA or Las Vegas to become a movie star and to become discovered. And then it doesn't work out and she works as a waitress and then she's disappointed about it not happening. But then the kind of energy that you've got, she would say, okay, it hasn't worked until now, draw a line under it, I'm going to try again. And then possibly she makes it, you know, but she tries again. And that's what this is about, trying again and not giving up. So I hope you found that useful, Cancer. If you would like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's very helpful in actually getting these videos to show up so people can see them. And if you want to find me on Facebook, it's facebook.com/GregoryScott444. Have a fabulous September, and I'll speak to you soon.